Good morning! Hi, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. Formula A is 4 moves, right there. Formula B is 8 moves, right there. And with it, you can solve every complexity Rubik's Cube, every complexity Minx. And all you need is those two formulas. Formula A is 4 moves, brings a piece to the top, brings a corner to the top, twists the corner around. We can work on an entire first face, but only the first face. Formula B moves 3 pieces around, does everything else, and that's all you need to do, because with that you can solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. They're all solved the exact same way, so it's not a reductionist method. You don't have to learn more algorithms as each cube gets bigger. It's all just works. So this is not a beginner's method. This is a newbie method, a beginner's method, but it is not a speed solve method. It is not a fewest moves challenge method. It's very clunky, and it's not but you can learn it inside of 2 hours, and it works on every complexity Rubik's Cube, so you don't need to carry the cheat sheets around for other methods where you have to each option can you focus? For every option everything you can encounter, there's a different formula to learn. This is not like that at all. Formula A brings a piece to the top, B moves 3 pieces around, and those two I'm gonna put those on a keychain so you don't have to have a cheat sheet. So anyway, every cube, no matter how complex your cube is, has 8 corners. This also works on the 3x9 as well. Pretty fun. So every n by n cube has 8 corners, and so we can do those 8 corners the exact same way regardless. So let me show you how that's done. It can be color neutral, but my alpha testers told me to pick a color and tell them what to do, so that's what I did. So here's the first thing you're going to do is every cube has 8 corners, so we're going to look only at the corners. We're going to ignore everything that's not a corner, and of those corners, each corner has 3 colors. We're going to pick a color. I pick yellow. Okay, so we're going to find a yellow corner, find a corner that has yellow, hold it in our hands where the yellow is under our left thumb, and face up. And then we're going to look at the front of the cube as if it's a spreadsheet with rows and columns, and we're going to be, the arrow represents the single slice we're going to be moving at a time, and the line represents all the rest of the cube that's holding still. So so you're only ever moving 1 slice at a time. For Formula A, if you're working on the corner, it's the bottom row in the right column. That's going to bring the corners to the top. It can be done for any piece as well, but we're working only on the corner. So here, this one has a yellow on top, so this cube that we've chosen is correct. We're going to make all the rest of the cube match it. So we look at this corner over here under our right thumb, and we look and see whether there's a yellow anywhere on this corner of the 3 colors that it is. And if there's a yellow anywhere on this corner, Formula A will bring it to the top, and we can see that there is. But if there isn't, then you look at the corner underneath it and see if there's a yellow there. And if there's a yellow in either of these 2 places, Formula A will bring it to the top. If there's not, then you rotate the bottom until there is. So there's a yellow here and here. We're going to use them. Bottom row, right column. We're going to move. This is where the action's taking place, so we want to first preserve this piece. So we're going to move it away from the action. We're going to move the space where it's going to land down. We're going to move it into the space, and the piece in the space back up again. Okay. And when the yellow is on top, we're going to keep the cube stable, slide the cube out of the way, continue over here. There's no yellow here, but there is a yellow here, so Formula A. Out, down, in, up. Now that it switches these 2, but it also twists them as it goes along. So it's on the top layer, but not the top face, so we're going to do it again. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. There it is. Okay, when the yellow's on top, we're ignoring all the colors except for yellow. We only care about the yellow right now. So we're bringing it, slide it over to the top, and we're looking over here. If there's a yellow anywhere here or anywhere here, A will bring it to the top. If not, rotate the bottom row by quarter turns until the answer is yes, and then formula A will bring it to the top. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down. And it's going to be less than 6 because 6 gets you back to where you started. So yellow's on top on all 4 corners. That is the first step. And it's done on every cube that you have. It's done the same way. So let me do it on this one too. Here's a yellow. This one doesn't have a yellow. This one doesn't have a yellow. Slide the bottom by quarter turn. Still doesn't have a yellow. Slide the bottom. Still doesn't have a yellow. Slide the bottom. There's a yellow in one of these 2 places. So formula A will bring it to the top. I go out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, until the yellow comes to the top. And it will in 5 or less, because 6 gets you back to however you started. So when the yellow's on top, hold the cube stable, rotate the top row until the top front right becomes the top front left, which was called a U in the standardized notation. I don't make it, the newbies learn the standardized notation. Not that it's harmful to do so, I think they should, but sorry, there's a lawnmower right outside my window. Right outside my window. Okay, so there's a yellow somewhere here, or here. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Tell me if I need to speak louder because of the lawnmower. And when the yellow's on top, hold the cube stable, slide the top, and continue with the next corner that needs to be evolved. There's a yellow there. Up. Up. And formula A, it's just 4 moves, really easy to memorize. Certainly you can shortcut your moves for the first 4 corners, but I teach the first 4 corners the exact same way I teach the second 4 corners, so you just have to learn one way, and it always works. So yellow's on top. The next thing to check is, because the corners have 3 colors, not just 2, so the next thing to check is whether the sides of the corners, we're ignoring all of the centers and edges, we're just looking at corners, whether the sides of the corners match each other or not. And at this point in time, one of 3 things has happened. Either all 4 sides will match of the corners, none of them will match of the corners, or one side will match. You can't have it any other way because of the nature of the cube. So on this one, red equals red, but green does not equal orange, blue does not equal green, orange does not equal blue. So this one has one side that matches. This one, red does not equal orange, green does not equal orange, the blue side matches. So both of these have one side that match. Most of the time, you're going to have one side that matches. Sometimes you'll have none, and sometimes you'll have all. And when they all, you just pause until for the rest of the class to catch up, or you advance on to the next step. But if none of the sides matches, it doesn't matter which way you hold it to do this next step. But if one side matches, you're going to hold it with the matching face facing away from you. And in either case, you're going to do formula B, and then bring A to the top. Now let me show you what formula B does, just so that you know what's happening. Top row, outside columns, up, up, down, down. Okay. The rest of most of the cube is unaffected, but 3 pieces and only 3 pieces move. And what that was is this piece came from here, this piece came from here, and this piece came from here. So these 3 pieces move clockwise. And so these 2 stay in the same proximity to each other, and this one moves over here. So it has the effect of switching these 2. But you're always moving 3 pieces, never 2. So that's what happens. Do it again, and it has the effect of going in the other direction. And once more, we'll put it back to start. So formula B only ever moves 3 pieces. So here's what we're going to do. So that with the matching face away, slide up, slide down, and it moved these 3. We already know how to bring the yellow to the top. That's back to formula A. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. When the yellow's on top, hold the cube stable, slide the top to find another cube to twist. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Hold the cube stable, slide. We're not rotating the cube until yellow comes back to the top. Okay, and as promised, there was one side matching, now all three sides match. Okay, here's another with one side matching, so we paste it to the back. We're going to do this again. Top row, outside columns. This cube is staying where it is, so we're kind of preserving this cube. So we move it away, and then this one comes to the top, and then we move it back, and this one comes up, away, down, back, down. This one stayed the same. These three all moved. Formula A brings it back to the top. Slide. Slide. And when we've done that, the rest of the cube is untouched. So the first four corners are done. But you can do the first layer, you can do layer by layer, row by row. You can solve any order of operations you want. But because all of the cubes have four corners, and I treat all the cubes the same way, I'm going to do the second four corners next. Okay, so I take my yellow that is happy with each other, and I put it face down. Okay, now the next thing you need to know which color is opposite yellow, and on a standardized cube it's going to be white, but a newbie doesn't know that. And not all cubes are standardized. So you look at each four corners to see which color they all have in common, and it is indeed white. But if you did not know that, as a hint, it's not a color that's touching your yellow. So it's not green, not red, not blue, and not orange. So once we've established that it's white, and on the standardized cube that's already there. This one is already white on top. This one's already white on top. White on top. I'm going to preserve those, and I'm going to start by affecting this cube. Now you can never twist just one corner at a time. You always have, because by the time it gets number 6, formula A gets it back to the way it is, and we want to change it halfway through, midway through. So we're going to do formula A, out, down, in, up. And the reason we're doing the formula A to begin with is because we want to twist that corner. So when that corner is, when the white's on top, slide it out of the way and continue the 6 set on the next corner, which is going to bring the white to, so white will be on top on all four corners. When the white's on top on all four corners, check in your yellow is still happy. If your yellow is not happy, your corner got twisted somehow, you might want to take it apart, put it back together again, because when the nature of the cube is that if four corners are correct, the others are going to have there's only certain ways it can be. So again, so yellow is still happy, and we've got green equals green, red does not equal blue, orange does not equal red, etc. So the one side that matches is the green. We're going to hold it facing away from us. But before we do that, I'm going to do this one, yellow face down, and I'm going to bring white to the top. None of the whites are there, so it doesn't matter where I start. So, but I'm going to hold the cube stable until white is on top on all of the cubes. We're ignoring the yellows. They're going to be dancing around and partying, but by the time the white is on top on all four corners, they will have resolved themselves, because formula A and formula B doesn't mess anything up. So, out, down, in, up. That's 1. Out, down, in, up. That's 2. White's on top. Slide it away and keep going. Out, down, in, up. That's 3. Out, down, in, up. That's 4. You don't have to count. But what you will find if you do is that it's always going to be a multiple of 6 to get to the next step. Slide the top, keep the cube stable, keep going with this one. It's always going to be a multiple of 6 just because of the mathematics of the cube is inherently honest. You don't have to understand the mathematics of the cube, but you can trust it. The mathematics. I don't know if I said mathematics or mechanics. But the cube is inherently honest, and so if you do the thing happens. So yellow is still happy with each other, because formula A 6 times is not going to mess up the bottoms. Okay, so now again we check. Orange does not equal green, red does not equal orange. One side matches. Okay, again, if none of the sides match, it doesn't matter how you hold it, but if one side matches, you hold it facing away. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and A to bring your color back to the top. Okay. keep the cube stable, rotate the top only to break up, to interrupt the Formula A pattern. We're doing that because we want the top to change. All right, so when the white's on top again, yellow is still happy. Okay, and again with this one, matching side faces away, top row, outside columns, up, up, down, down, and yellow is still happy. And Formula A to bring the white back to the top again. Slide when the white's on top, keeping the cube stable. If you twist the cube instead of just sliding the top, the yellows will scramble, and that's not what we want. We want the yellows to be protected, so we keep the cube stable. When the white's on top and the colors match, you check to see, you make sure that your yellows are still happy, and line up the top to the bottom, and the corners are done. On this one, that's all there is to it. On every other cube, the corners being done now dictates the correct place for every other piece. Because the yellows dictate what color each face is going to be. Okay, so let's see if anybody's joined us. Hi, you guys. Wow, nice list. Thank you for joining me. I'm Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. It's Thursday, so I've already got the corners done, and I've already got the edges done, so I'm working on the these two are done. So I'm working on the 4 and the 5 today, and we've just finished the corners. Again, a Formula A brings a corner to the top and twists it around as needed. Formula B moves 3 pieces around as needed, and that's all you need to do. So on these ones, the corners are now correct to each other, so the corners now dictate what color each face is going to be. And since I teach newbies, and so since I've been training my eyes to look for yellow or white, I'm going to keep looking for yellow. I'm going to keep looking for yellow and white. So I hold the cube. The corners now dictate which color each face is. So I hold the cube so that, as dictated by the corners, yellow and white are left and right. Yellow and white are left and right. And then I look for a piece so the yellow and white corners are going to stay stable to each other. So I look for pieces in between the two columns, anywhere in the middle area. Okay, we've done corners, we're looking only at edges now. So we're ignoring all the centers, we're looking only at edges, and we're finding an edge piece that has a yellow or white. Now if the yellow or white happens to be on the front, we want it to be on the top. So we would flip it, but again, yellow and white are still left and right in one direction or another. So we're going to start with this one. Corners match the front, that's the first step. And then the top color tells us which direction it's going to be. So the yellow and green edge is going to land between the yellow and green, between the yellow and my fire alarm is going off. I'm going to pause. I'll be right back as soon as my fire alarm stops going off. It's not a real fire alarm. It's the when it goes off in one place, it goes off in all. There it goes. It goes off in all of the places, which is why they're replacing them. All right, so corners match the front, and it's going above the green. The green and yellow is going to go above the green, yellow something, not over here. So this is the column it's going to land on. So this is the first column. This is the second column is where it begins. Start by moving it away. Away up, in up, away down, in down. And we're placing them one at a time. You'll notice that I don't say, oh, here is my yellow and blue edge piece. Where's the other yellow and blue edge piece? So let's put them together and then do a reductionist method at the end when it looks like a 3x3. That is actually not your friend. Doing the reductionist method is more likely going to, the only reason you would do it is because you don't know where it's supposed to be anyway. But if you know where it's supposed to be because the corners are correct, you can just throw it where it wants to be and they'll pair themselves up. Whereas if you pair them up and then find that you're more likely to get a parity later on if you do the reductionist method. Not a lot, but enough. So I'm just going to find a piece in the yellow and white are left and right. I'm just going to find a piece in the middle and throw them in the direction, and when there's no more yellow or whites in the middle, then I assess to see how well we've done. So here's a white on top, yellow and white are left and right, bring the corners to match the front, and it's going above the orange and white corner, so it's going to go in here. So first column is where it's going to land, second column. So it's just 2 columns, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And then we're just placing pieces one at a time. And as we do so, our opposite edges are solving. Okay, corners match the front. This one's going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, start by moving away from the direction it wants to be so that you don't lose it in the first action. Corners match the front, going in this direction. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. Okay, this one needs to flip, this one doesn't. So there's a lot of, again, this is not a speed solve method, but if you want to learn speed solving, this method will get your cube back to a solved state, so you can check out your algorithms from a solved state, so you can actually see what each algorithm does and when to use it. So you're understanding the algorithm instead of just following a recipe. So corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Another yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. Okay. And we just keep going for as long as there's a yellow or a white. I'll do this white one because it's on top. You don't have to flip. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down, or slide. Here's another one. Flip it so the yellow's on top. Bring the corners to match the front. And let it rinse, repeat. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, and every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it, so you don't have to pay much attention. It's really a muscle memory solve is what it is. So corners match the front. These two are together, so I'm going to treat them together because I can without hurting if these you end up in the parity stage and they're in the wrong spot, you can break them apart. But at this stage, as long as they're together, we can keep them together. Up, up, down, down. The reductionist method actually kind of teaches you to limit how you're seeing the pieces, the fact that they're together, and you train your eyes to see them as one piece, which can be helpful but can also be harmful, because if you're looking at it as one piece and it's in the wrong spot, you hesitate to break them apart because you're treating them like one piece. But if it's in the wrong spot, it's because the center is off and you have to break them apart. So corners match the front. Going in the yellow direction, so this way. So, start with away, and up, slide down, slide down. And the only two columns are for the edges are where it's going to land and where it began. Okay. The final down is not really important at this stage, but it's muscle memory learning, so you want to keep it there because you do need it when you get to the side edge stages. So up, up, down, down. Again, this is not a speed solve method. However, I've had many students who once they figured out, oh, the cube is not intimidating, it's actually fun, I can do it, I'm good at this game, then have the desire to see, well, how good am I, and to start racing themselves and start racing others and go into the speed solving method. So, but again, this gives you a blank state, a solved cube, so that when you practice your algorithm, you can see everything the algorithm does. So you can start using it more creatively. So no more white. There's no yellow or whites in the middle area anymore here. So I check, and either this opposite edges will now be done, or they might not be, because there might be some, if every one of them is something I've placed, then it's correct, and if something was in the right place already, then it's correct. But if this piece began over here and this piece began over here, and I just haven't gotten to that piece yet because I've been doing from the middle out. So if one of the pieces is actually incorrect, well, then what you're going to do, if one of the pieces is incorrect, two of them are going to be incorrect. But what you're going to do is then the piece that's incorrect, you're going to place a random piece into that spot, which will move it out to the middle where you can then place it correctly. So keep doing that until opposite edges are done. So opposite edges are done here. Again, yellow and white are left and right. And I just look for any piece that's yellow or white in the middle. On the edge pieces, we're ignoring the centers. And here we go again. This is a good, before we start, since we have an absolute center, this is a convenient place, before you start working on the opposite edges, this is a convenient place to line up that opposite center. You can line up the other center as well, but you're going to be moving it as you place the opposite edges. So if you do not place the center right now, we can place it later without messing up the edges, and that's just by just treating it with the formula A. But for now, we'll just do that because we can. And then we look for pieces, so yellow and white are left and right as dictated by the corners, and then we just look for any piece in the middle area that has a yellow or white on it. We're solving all of the opposite edges at the same time. So bring the corners to match the front. And so it's going to land above the red and white is going to land above the red and white something corner, not above the yellow and red something corner. So it's going to, this is the column, first column, second column. None of these need to be preserved, so we can, at this point in time, it's kind of a shortcut is I look at the other three sides to see whether anything else that matches up to my red. And if it does, I'll use it, and if it doesn't, I'll get rid of it. So this piece is going to land here, but these pieces can handle being moved out to the middle. So I'm going to put these garbage pieces in, these random pieces in to move these out to the middle, so I don't have a problem with it later on, just because I can. Same number of moves. So this is going to land here on this column. So I start by moving away, and then slide up, slide, and I'm moving all of them down, down. Okay. And there we have it. Here's the green and white. So I bring the corners to match the front. Yellow and white are left and right in one direction or another. And it's going to go over here. None of these need to be preserved. So let's check the other three sides. 1, 2, 3. Nothing advantageous, so we're ignoring them. But I'm going to move these pieces out. Up, up, down, down. If it doesn't displace anything, you move as big pieces as you want to, because maybe the third piece will automatically fall into place. We don't know, but it's the same amount of movement, so it doesn't matter. So we make big moves until you need precision later on. Corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. All of these want to move, so let's see if there's any other blue or white. There's one, which means this one's not going to be it, because this one wants to be there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so nothing advantageous, so I'm going to put some random pieces in here so I can move pieces out. None of them it's not helpful, so I'm just going to move these two pieces as one. Up, let's see who's here. Check for new people in the chat. I love to chat more than I love to monologue, so please feel free to interrupt me with any questions or comments you have, because because on the spectrum, okay? so that's fine. And I love to teach more than I love to demonstrate. So if you want to learn this method and you want me to walk you through it, happy to do that. Or if you have a non-cuber friend, happy to do that as well. And I am set up to stream. I am set up to teach in real time by game capturing my Zoom classroom, so I can be teaching up to 4 people at a time in real time. So if bring me your non-cuber friends, we'll have fun. So yellow and white are left and right. Active colors on top. Bring the corners to match the front, and it's going in the white direction. Okay. This one's already there, so I'm not going to check for it because it's already there. So these two are going to go into this place. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And we just keep finding yellow or white in the middle, yellow or white's left and right, find one in the middle, throw it in the direction it wants to be. All of these pieces need to move out, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's not advantageous to move this one in, so I'm just going to use these two, because this one's going to go here and this one wants to come out. So up, up. You can do one piece at a time. You can look ahead of time. It doesn't. It's all. But this is like I said. Formula A, Formula B. I'll slap it on a keychain. It's the only cheat sheet you need once you've learned this method. So it's going in this direction. None of them need to be preserved. So I'm checking the other sides. 1, 2, 3. Nothing advantageous. So I'm going to again move as big a piece as you can, and because some of them will, you're not doing any damage until you know you're actively displacing something. So go general until you go general while you can, and then go more specific when you get farther along. So corners match the front, yellow and white are left and right. It's going in this direction. Nothing needs to be preserved, so I'm checking the other sides. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. These two, and then the random piece. So the random piece this one's fine, so I don't need to use the random piece. I'm just going to use these two to move these two out. So out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. Lather, rinse, repeat. If anyone, like I said, if you have any questions, you want to see how it works on the minxes, or any, you want to see how parodies work, whatever, I'm happy to be interrupted. In the meantime, yellow and white are left and right, corners match the front, and it's going in the white direction. Okay, I already know where the other white one is, so I'm not going to look for it here, but I am going to look for the center, see if the orange happens to be here, and it doesn't. So I'm going to ignore it. Just this piece. It doesn't help me to move this one down. It's counterproductive. So just this piece. So out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. Okay, and we're just placing pieces one at a time. And because the corners dictate where they are, every time we place it, we're placing it correctly. So there is no reductions method at the end that you need. So this is going to go here. The center is still on the loose somewhere. There it is, so I can't place it yet. So just this piece, being more specific now. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Here's the green. Corners match the front, going in this direction. Okay. 1, 2, there it is. We can use this one. So together, up, up, and that's the only time I look for pairs is during my setup before I do the Formula B. It's not worth pairing them up if it's not just automatically already there. Corners match the front. Going in this direction. Is the other blue happen to magically be there? No, it does not. Okay, so just this piece. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. And for you just lather, rinse, repeat. As long as there's any yellow or whites in the middle, we're going to place them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, nothing helpful there. So just this piece. These two are together. It doesn't hurt me to keep them together. All right, yellow on top, corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Nothing needs to be saved. So let's look for other ones. Okay, nothing helpful. So, but we're still going to move. Okay, so the middle one. Out, up, in, up, Formula B, up, up, down, down. Okay. Here's corners match the front. Going in this direction. Away, up, down, down. Okay. Alright, there's this orange one is a little bit closer. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so that was helpful. So treat this as 1. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. If I'm going too fast for anyone, or if you have any questions, just stop me. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. And so out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. Okay. Here's another white. I chose this one instead of that yellow so I don't have to flip them. The less flipping is not time saving. So corners match the front. It's going over here. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. And we're going to keep doing this for as long as there's a yellow or white anywhere in the middle. We don't even waste time looking at the sides until we run out of yellow and white. So corners match the front. It's going the yellow direction. This piece might be there. There we go. This one is in the middle, so we're going to work around that, but we're going to place these still as if they were one. So up, up, down, down. Okay. No yellow or whites here. No yellow or whites here. No yellow or white. Here's one. Okay. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay. No yellow or whites on one side, 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 edges. So now we look. Now either the yellow and whites are correct, or one of them or some of them are not. If none of them are, if one of them are incorrect, we just throw a random piece into that spot. But these ones are between their respective corners. These ones are. These ones are. These ones are. These ones are. So yellow and white opposite edges are done. Ta-da! So corners first, and then opposite edges, and then. It's when we start working on the side edges. The next thing we're still going to do at side edges, we've already established that Formula B takes the top front to the side front. So now we're going to, let's go back to our yellows, put the white face down, and the white's going to stay face down until the rest of the edges are done, which is called the cage. So some of the edge pieces might already be in the right place, which is fine. We're going to leave those alone, and we're going to find a piece that's incorrect. These are both incorrect. And we're going to displace only one. We're preserving the yellows. We're going to displace one yellow, which is going to put this one down into the side, and this one's going to dance back, bip bop back and forth while we play with the pieces that are not yellow. As we displace this yellow, I'm going to displace this yellow, and I'm going to keep working with whatever's on top that's not yellow until the yellow finds its way back to the top. Okay. So this piece, this yellow is displaced. This yellow is going to go back and forth in its own spot. It's not going to go anywhere as I work with a piece that's not yellow. Okay. At this stage, before I do anything on the side edges, if there's an absolute center, I place it now if it's not already placed. So this one has an absolute center. With the white and yellow are placed. And I'm going to line up the absolute center with the corners for this one. This is the time to do it. If you have an absolute center and you don't line it up here, you're going to get a parity on the center edge. But if these edges are lined up, then you will not. All right. So white's face down. We'll get there. We're looking for the piece on top that's not yellow, and here it is. It's red and green. Hold the top row. Bring the corners together. Now we're ignoring everything. We're ignoring the top row. So the only corners we care about now are the bottom ones. So we're bringing the corners to match the front. And the top color determines which direction it's going to go. So this one is going to go here. So the first column's where it's going to land, second column's where it is. Start by moving away. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, and again with the color not top. Color on top is not yellow. Hey, school bus, how you doing? Nice to see you. I see you say Zoom, and I'm in the middle of teaching this step right now. If 2 to 4 people want to Zoom, then I will interrupt myself. Otherwise, I'm going to continue with this lesson. I know you want to Zoom, and I can do that with you on Saturday. But in the meantime, I've got to go with what the most people want. So if anyone else wants to Zoom, if I get 2 or more people asking, I will do it. And in the meantime, I'm just going to finish here. But you can ask me any questions you want. Okay, so hold the top layer, move the cube until the corners match the front. Going to the green side. School bus, I would like you to practice the pattern of Formula B. So as I'm doing Formula B, I want you to take your cube that's in your hand, whatever scramble, whatever solve it is, and I just want you to practice mirroring what my hand motions are doing. Just look at my hands, and I'm gonna try not to go too fast. Just copy so that you can get a hand muscle memory pattern. Just slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. And just keep doing. Just practice your Formula B. You don't need to be bored just watching. I'm going to be doing Formula B over and over again, so I just want you to practice the pattern of Formula B. I know you've got Formula A down, so I want you to just practice the pattern of Formula B while you're watching me. And if that's boring, come back and you don't have to. But I think that you would be helped if you would try to follow my Formula Bs. Okay, and if I'm working with a 4x4, but you can do it with your 5x5, with your 3x3, or your 5x5. Just practice the pattern until it becomes programmed into your muscle memory. So corners match the front. It's going in the green direction over here. So away, up, in, second up, away, down, in, second down. And don't worry about what your cube is doing. Don't worry about whether it's a scrambled or solving or what. Just practice the hand motions until you get it into muscle memory. That will help you tremendously. Okay, so corners to match the front. Piece on top that's not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in the red direction. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, yellow came back to the top as promised, and we're going to set the edges and we're going to look. Okay, it doesn't, when yellow comes back to the top, it doesn't have to be correct. It can be anywhere on the top layer, so they can look like a parody, whatever, as long as it's to the top layer. That's when we assess. So yellow's up. So we're looking at the sides now. This one's correct, this one's not. Don't really care what the other one, some of them are, some of them are not. We just need to find a piece that's incorrect, and we're going to displace a yellow into it using Formula B. So top row, first column, the second column is whatever this one lands in. Okay, so away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and there's now this yellow is now going to bob back and forth, and we have a piece on top that's not yellow. We're just going to keep playing with the piece on top that's not yellow until yellow comes back to the top. So corners match the front. It's going in this direction, orange direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, and then over here, corners match the front. It's going the orange direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, a piece on top that's yellow. Yellow came back to the top as promised. Okay, like I said, it doesn't have to be correct, it just has to be on top. So now we check the sides. This one, these two are correct. This one's not. So this one needs to be displaced with the yellow. So if there's a incorrect yellow, that's what I'm going to use. If there's other, because I don't want to mess up my correct yellows. So this way, this one's going to land here. That's not going to help us. So this one's going to land here. So I'm going to displace this yellow into this incorrect piece, and then keep going. So up, up, down, down. Okay. So there's my yellow down there. I'm going to work on whatever piece on top is not yellow until the yellow comes back to the top again. So corners match the front. It's going in the blue direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Your first slide is away from the action so you don't lose it. Okay. Piece on top is not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in the green direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, yellow came back to the top. Set the corners and reassess. This side is done, this side is done, this side is done, this side is done. Okay, so now we assess. When the sides are done, the yellow is either correct or it might have a parity. A parity is, if there is a parity, I forced it to be on the same row, on the same slice, opposite each other, rather than side by side. I did that by when I'm displacing, I only displace up to the middle and never beyond. So if there's a parity, that's easily solved, and I will handle that in a minute. First I'm going to do the side edges on this one and see if I can get a parity. See if a parity will show up on this one, because this one I manufactured. This one automatically didn't have one. This one might. So again, when the yellow and white are done, white goes face down, and I've lined up my center for the absolute center that I have, and then I'm looking to the sides to see what can be displaced. Anything here can be displaced. I can do this one row at a time, and then when that row is complete, then I move to the next row. Like if you know, or I can do displace up through the center but not beyond to displace. So I'm going to treat these two as one. I'm going to none of these are correct. None of these have to be preserved. So I'm going to displace up through the center. So slide up, but not beyond the center. That way, if there is a parity, I have forced it into a piece that I like to work with. Okay, so I've displayed, the yellows are down here. They will find their way back up to the top. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep placing pieces that are not yellow until it does. So here's a piece that's not yellow, and I've corners and center match the front. Okay, it's going in the red direction, and this one does not belong there, so it's just this piece. We're being specific now where we were general earlier. So this piece is going to land in first column is where it's going to land, second column is where it begins. So start by the first slide is away. So we go slide up, slide second up, down, down. Again, for every left there's a right, every up there's a down. It's a commutator. Only 3 pieces are moving, and not more than 3 pieces. So let me show you what's happening. Okay. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Aside from this parity that I already had here, the only three pieces are ever moving with formula B. So the rest of the cube is just happy where it is. Okay. So find a piece on top that's not yellow, line up the corners to match the front, determine its direction, and away up, in up, away down, in down. So it's always the top row, outside column, and it is where it's going to land, and the inside column is where it begins. Okay, so here's a piece. Corners match the front. It's going in the blue direction. Okay. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay, and then find the next piece on top, not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in the green direction. Okay, So one of these yellows is going to come back to the top. We're going to ignore it until as long as there's any piece on top that's not yellow, we're going to ignore it. So looking for piece on top that's not yellow. That one's yellow now, so we're just going to work with this piece. Okay. This piece is not where it wants to be though, so if it becomes convenient for me to displace a sitting edge piece, I will. So this one wants to go over here, but this one it does not want to move, so I'm not going to move this one this time because this one's correct. But if this piece were incorrect, I would move it. So corners match the front. It's going in the blue direction. Start by moving away, up, slide second up. Every other move is horizontal. Every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. And piece on top that's not yellow. Okay. It's going into the green side, so it's this side. This one does not need to be preserved, so since this yellow is going to have to be displaced sometime or other, I'm going to displace it now so we can keep working with the not yellows. So slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, and we're just placing one piece at a time, regardless of the rest of the cube. It'll get there one step at a time, and it gets done. Again, this is not a speed solve method. This, but it is the first direct solve. It is the easiest direct solve method for the 5x5. Direct solve being non-reductionist. Here's another piece. Okay, line up the red. It's going in the green direction. This piece can be moved, but this one doesn't want to. So just this piece. That's going to bring my yellow back to the top again. And when the yellow comes back to the top again, whenever that happens, then we reassess. Okay, so line up the corners to match each other. Okay, and oh wait, we don't reassess because there's still a not yellow. Still more to do. Corners, it's going into here. And that's will bring this yellow up, and then we will reassess. Up, down, down. Okay, yellow came back to the top. Doesn't matter if it's correct, it matters that it came back to the top. So now we check the sides. This edge is correct. This one still is incorrect. So I need to displace a yellow into this spot. Okay, I'm going to make it be one next to this one, so I can just to keep them together as friends. So I'm going to displace this one. Up, up, down, down, and then we keep working with on top is not yellow until the yellow comes back to the top again. So corners match the front, going in this direction. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Look for piece on top that's not yellow. Okay, and it's going in this direction. Up, down, down. Piece on top that's not yellow. Yellow came back to the top again. So set the top and reassess. These ones are correct. These ones are correct. These ones are correct. These ones are correct. All right, so good. We got ourselves this, the center here, where this is not a parity because each piece is where it wants to be. It's just flipped. And you can never have one piece flipped. You have to have two or more. You have to have an even number of pieces flipped. So this is not a parity, but this is a parity because this piece wants to be here, this piece wants to be here. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this stage, I can either change my direction of up and have orange or red be my top color now, which is, if you're color neutral, that's just fine. I can do that, that's no problem. Or I can displace these pieces to the side and have that piece where it lands be the one that's wrong. So I'm gonna stop being color. I'm gonna be color neutral now. So orange is now my top. Okay, so this piece is in the right place, but it needs to be flipped, so it needs to move. But these pieces, this is a parity. Now parity is always caused by the center being a quarter turn off, because on the On the absolute center, you can tell which is correct because there's a piece color there that shows you. But on this piece, you can't tell whether the piece is correctly positioned or not unless you either do or don't get a parity. So on this layer and this slice of the cube right here that has the parity has 4 edge pieces on it. 2 of them are correct, 2 of them are incorrect. If you move that slice 1/4 turn either direction, 1 will be correct and 3 will be incorrect. We know how to move 3 pieces around, and so with the 3 pieces incorrect, we the parity has now, poof, disappeared. So, orange is on top. These 2 are incorrect. This one, so I'm going to displace these 2 with orange. Okay? So these 2. So away up, in, up, away down, in, down. Okay, so now we're looking for a piece on top that's not orange because orange is our top color. Okay, so here's a piece on top that's not top. I bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. So up, up, down, down. Okay, that piece is correct. Here's a piece on top that's not orange. So line corners match the front. It's going in this direction. So up, up, down, down. Okay, looking for a piece on top that's not orange. This one is orange and this one is not. So I'll only displace this one if it becomes convenient to do so. So corners match the front. It's going in the right direction. This one is the way I want it, so I'm not going to move this one yet. So I'm going to do this one. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, looking for a piece on top that's not orange. Hold the cube stable, bring the corners to match the front. Determine its direction. Away up, in, up, away down, in, down. Okay, set the top. And we still have, okay, this one's correct, this one's correct, this one's not correct, it wants to be flipped. So I'm going to bring an incorrect piece from the top into that spot, and that will move this piece to the top, and then I can place it correctly. Now you can never flip just one piece, you're always flipping 2, so these 2 are going to flip by doing this. But I'm going to just do it the same way I do any other B. I'm going to place the incorrect into this spot, up, up, down, down. Okay, so that's these 3 pieces moved. This one went here and this one went here, but I'm going to put, if I bring this piece to the front and place it again, this piece will come back where it was. So even though I'm moving 3 pieces, I'm moving one of the pieces away and then back in, so it doesn't matter. So again, this piece wants to go here, up, up, down, down, and set the top, and the parity is gone. Then the 2 flips are gone. So the cage is now complete. All that's left now is the centers. The centers are done the exact same way. It's still 2 columns, but the 2 columns, instead of being any of them being on the outside, 2 outsides move corners to outside, inside moves edges. If you want to move the center pieces, I'm just going to do one to show you how it's done, and I'm going to come back and do the rest of them tomorrow because today is Thursday. So where's my marker? Where's my marker? Alrighty, get myself another one. I use this just so that your eyes can follow what my eyes are doing. I don't know what this is called, but this is what we used in the 70s and 80s to put posters on our walls without having holes in the walls. Oh, here it is. I don't need that one. Here it is. Okay, so for the centers, again, the centers are already correct. If they were not correct, I can move them. If someone had done boxes to me, I can move them, reposition them using formula A, just the middle row and middle column instead of the bottom row, bottom column. But it's correct. So for the centers, all you gotta do is just pick a piece that is incorrect. Okay, on your, and let that be your front face with the piece that's incorrect. And this piece is going to move to the top, so you hold the cube. So since this is on the green face and it's a red, I'm going to hold the cube so that red's on top. Okay, because this piece is going to go to the top. Okay, so it's going to be the top row and then 2 inner columns. One of them is the piece that this piece dictates, and the other one is going to be where this piece will also dictate. So this piece is going to land right here in this spot, which means I can either bring down an orange or a yellow or a green or an orange. Well, the side that I'm on is green, so let's bring the green down. So here's what's going to happen. So that was my first horizontal to line it up so it's advantageous. And then I follow this piece. Okay, I go up, I slide the top so it's in a different, 1/4 turn so it's in a different column. If I go this way, same column, so you can't do that. You have to be a little more particular with your diagonals than with the other ones. So let's go back and show you. So up, 1/4 turn so it's in a different column, and then the different column becomes my second up, which moves my piece to the back. Okay, and then you reverse what you're doing, line up your edges because your edges are there as a visual clue. Down, down, set the top again, and we have moved our red piece to the top and the green piece came down somewhere. It looks like you can move 2 pieces, but you're always moving 3. In this case, 2 of the pieces were green, so we couldn't tell. It looked like 2, but it's always 3. So that's it. Formula A, Formula B, all you need. Works on every complexity cube. Unless there's any quick questions for me, I will pause the tutorial and be back tomorrow to finish the centers for you, because we've already been an hour here. So doesn't look like there's any questions. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you. And bring me your non-cuber friends. We'll have fun. In the meantime, go have a wonderful day. Go drink lots of water, walk in the sunshine, be happy. You deserve it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.